I'm so thrilled. I saw that fans were planning on flying in for the show or showing up, from a 7 or 8 hour car ride. So it's very much appreciated, believe me. Now, as far as what's next for me in Chikara, I have a few goals in mind for 2014. If you don't mind me listing them.
Go for it.
Well, I would like to civilize Kobald. I think that the little demon has come a long way, and he's starting to show, especially the other night, at National Pro Wrestling Day, both he and the Vatiri, they fought by our sides.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the Vatiri and Kobald, they're demons, and Kobald is a goblin, excuse me. But I think that he's come a long way, and he just needs a little push. So I believe I'd like to take him on a taming of the shrew type path, you see, and teach him how to be a proper gentleman. And I think that he and I could really make a good show of it. But yes, I think that's one of my goals, is to civilize the goblin. I think another goal is, I'd like to find a valet, to be honest.
How about Miss Veronica Ticklefeather? Have you got your eyes on her?
Miss Veronica she actually was a valet for me it was almost a year ago now. My gosh, I say. Yes, last year she was a valet for me. And Veronica and I worked very well together. But I'm not sure if Veronica has plans on returning to Chikara. So with that being said, I'm going to keep my eyes peeled for a skilled woman to accompany me to the ring and perhaps, hold my coat, deal with my affairs outside of the ring and other such. So I'm going to find a valet.
Well, the world's sweetest man definitely needs a beautiful woman by his side, so good luck in that endeavor. Is there anything... in the last closing minutes here, is there anything else going on for Jervis Cottonbelly or the Wrestling Is movement? Is that still going to be part of the whole Chikara experience as well? I know that there had been some shows that were going on around the country at one point.
Yes, and it's interesting that you bring Wrestling Is up. I'd like to talk about that for a minute.
Sure, go ahead.
I saw it said recently that, when Chikara shut down, it was a rude comment on the internet. And I know that there are thousands of them out there, but this particular one bothered me. Because it said that when Chikara shut down, they lowered their fan interaction. And, that kind of struck me as odd, because we actually performed and toured, as a crew, I should say, more in 2013 than we ever had. We ran 8 shows in the month of August by itself.
Mm-hmm.
I wrestled nearly, I believe, 35 times or so, maybe more, in that span. And when Chikara closed down, Wrestling Is rose up from the ashes to sort of fill that gap, A, and then to B, get the Chikara crew into new markets. And what ended up happening was we found a market like Haverhill, Massachusetts, which we never thought that we'd see success in, but it turned out to be one of the most fun and robust and rambunctious crowds we've ever had. So I guess what I'm saying is that Chikara in name may have, closed down for a while, but in spirit, it was always alive. And the Wrestling Is spirit and the Wrestling Is locker room, we grew very close. And not only did that, but we were able to perfect our game. You see, when you wrestle 8 times in 1 month, you're able to perform a lot better than as if you only wrestled once in a month or so. So Wrestling Is was very beneficial, especially to a man like the Thunder Frog, like the Thunder Frog. He wrestled, I think, nearly 50 or more matches. And for an independent professional wrestler with a full-time gig, that's quite a lot of matches. So Wrestling Is was a benefit. And I would suggest for any fans who are possibly catching up, to go back and skim over the body of work from Wrestling Is, because when I say to you that it was one long-running narrative, one long-running story, there are things that happened at those shows that will matter later, you see. And a lot of people felt that they were just throwaway shows or that they didn't matter. But the truth is there were a lot of storyline advancements if you go and look back. So it's important to possibly review the footage. Now, you can do that at smvod.com or at shop.wrestlingins.com. And I urge our fans to go ahead and give that a look.
Yeah, and there's about roughly 2.5, wait, I'm doing my math wrong, about 3.5 months to do that before Chikara kind of returns, so people can get caught up, and that's the benefit of the internet, and as you mentioned earlier, streaming and going to an online kind of concept. Fans can stay abreast to what is going on with Wrestling Is and now with Chikara as well.
Yes, and I hope they do, because I can tell you when Chikara returns, it will be like nothing wrestling fans have ever seen. We are attempting to really reshape and reimagine professional wrestling. There are certain terms and certain things that we'd like to leave in the past. And I think that when Chikara returns, everyone will be pleasantly surprised if they're not already anticipating a good time.
Well, I am looking forward to it, gentlemen. Jervis Cottonbelly, thank you so much for what you do as a professional wrestler, as a gentleman, and also for taking the time to talk with us. Anything else? I'll give you the last word here.
Well, I would just like to say that I want our fans to always remember and never forget that Jervis Cottonbelly still loves you. Warmly, Jervis Cottonbelly. That's all I have to say.